Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got this really old mirror that I'm going to be glamming up a bit. I like the silver frame on it, so I'm going to be keeping that, and I'm just going to be decorating around the sides. I'm using a big piece of cardboard for some of the decorations. So what I've got is 5 centimeter width, and the size that I'm using is 55 centimeters. So I've marked out 4 pieces like that, and then I've taken another piece of cardboard and I've marked them at 1 centimeters. So I've got 11 pieces like that. I might need 12, but I'm going with 11 for the time being. And I'm just going to cut those all out. And I'm just using my box cutter to cut those all out. And I'm also cutting out 4 little pieces, which are 4.5 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters. I've got all my pieces cut out, and now I'm going to take the thin ones and I'm going to be gluing them onto the sides of my big pieces like that. And I'm just using hot glue to glue these on. I'm just taking small pieces and cutting them to fill the gap, and then gluing those on as well. I've glued it all together, so I've got a nice long little box like that. And I'm going to do the same to all 4 pieces. I've got all my little boxes put together, and now I'm going to be taking some of this spray adhesive and I'm going to be spraying it in the center of all of them. And I'm also just using some aluminium foil, which I'm going to be sticking down in the center of them. I'm going to be using the shiny side facing upward. So I've got the foil in like that so that the sides over here are covered, and then I've just glued it down to it, and then trim the excess off. And now I'm going to take some of this clear PVA glue and pour some in each of the little boxes, and then I'm going to be sprinkling this crushed mirror glass on that. Sorry, my camera stopped working when I was showing you that, and I've poured them all in there. Now on this particular one, you can see it's got a lot of white areas like that. There's not too much mirror as such. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some silver glitter and I'm just going to be sprinkling that on. So I've done these ones, and as you can see it makes them a little bit more sparkly than the last one. And then I'm going to leave those overnight to dry before I put another coat of glue on to seal it all in. The little squares that I cut out, I'm also going to be putting the foil on top of those, using the same spray adhesive. And then trimming the excess off. And I'm going to be using these flexible mirrors, and on the reverse side, which will be the front, I'm going to be placing the mirrors onto those. To take the backing off the mirror, just take some masking tape and place it as close to the corner as you can get. And the same on the other side. And then just pull it apart and the backing will come off. And then you can stick your mirror down. I'm going to be taking the same little mirror and cutting strips and putting it on the sides of these little pieces of cardboard as well. From the leftover mirror tile that I covered the coaster with, I'm taking it and drawing 1 centimeter increments on it, and then going to cut those out. And I need 24 pieces of the long one, and there's a short piece on the side which I'm going to cut, and I need 8 of those. I sealed all the pieces with some glue, and now they're all dry and ready to work with. So now we're going to start placing the little strips of mirror that we cut, and we're going to glue them all onto the sides. I'm going to glue them on all of them. For the corner piece, I'm just taking the two pieces, so I've got a short one and I've got one of the long ones, and I'm just going to slice it directly up the middle so that I've got a 45-degree angle for the corners. I've just got my masking tape, and all I'm doing is placing that on and then peeling the mirror off. Even though the mirrors are self-adhesive, I'm still going to be gluing them down with some hot glue. I'm using a soft drink bottle box that I'm cutting 13 centimeters by 55 centimeters, and I'm cutting 4 of those. And now I'm going to be gluing this piece onto the piece of cardboard that we just cut, and I'm using hot glue to do that. And now I'm going to cut some strips of the flexible mirror and then glue that all the way around, but I'm not doing the inner side because that's going to be glued against the mirror. And I've marked the center of the mirror and the center of my piece here so that I can line the two pieces up like that. And now I'm going to glue this underneath the mirror, and I'm using hot glue and some E6000 to do that, just to give it extra support. I've lifted my mirror up so that I can see exactly where the hanging hooks are. I've just marked it on the side so that the side piece that I'm going to be putting on, I'm going to be cutting a groove out of those. I've cut a little window out like that, so once the hook goes through there, then I can just close it back up. And now I'm going to glue this underneath the mirror. I'm going to be using some of this bling wrap, and I'm just cutting one strip. I've removed the mirror, the protective cover on the mirrors here, and I'm going to be placing one strip just to neaten up the edges, so I'm going just all the way around. I've got these AB large gems, which I'm going to be sticking into the center of my little piece. But before I stick that, I'm going to be taking the protective cover off. And I've glued all the stones around with a bling wrap around the whole thing, and there's the little piece with the stone glued on. An easy way to take the film off is just to take some masking tape and then place it onto there and then just peel it off. I've lifted the mirror up now, and I've placed the little tab through my little window, and now I'm going to be gluing that all down. I'm using hot glue and E6000 to do that. I've got all the outside pieces glued on, and now I'm going to be working on the corners. Taking the coasters that we covered, I'm going to be placing those about 2 millimeters away from the main piece, and I'm going up from the bottom here by 1 centimeter, and I'm going to be gluing these onto the frame, so on both sides. To balance the mirror that's going to be going on the side, I've cut a small piece of cardboard which is the same thickness as the board, so that when I put that one on, it will balance and it won't wobble on top of the other piece. To glue the other piece on, I've removed half of the backing so that I can just glue that one into place on top of that, and then I'll remove all the protective covering later. And I'm doing the same thing for the little piece, so I've taken a little piece of cardboard to balance that one, which is going to be placed just on the corner like that, and I'm going up on this one by 1 centimeter here and on the other one so that it matches. So there's 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. And I'm taking a small piece of bling wrap and putting it in the corner. I've got these stick-on rhinestones which I'm going to be putting around the side, so just going like that. And now I'm taking some of this small bling wrap, and I've just cut one strip, And I'm gluing that onto the small little piece of cardboard that we made. And that's the corner finished. And I'm going to do that to all four corners. And now we start working on the center arrangement. I've got an assortment of different size rhinestones that I'm going to be using in a descending manner. So I've got the large ones that we're starting with, and then we're going all the way down to the smallest one. And I'm using these beautiful rose acrylic crystal beads or stones, and then once again I'm using the AB round one. So I've marked the center of my side pieces, and I'm going to be starting by putting the large rose on the center point, and then I'm going to be gluing those ones around it like that. I've glued the rose and the three large pieces in, and now I'm going to be using some of this bling, and I'm just using the little teardrops, and I'm just going to be placing those on the side. And one at the top, and another one just at the side. And now I've got, as I said, I've got an assortment of different sizes. So I've got the large ones, which I'm going to be placing on next to the flower like that. Same on the other side. And then we're going to go descending with the sizes. So this is the next size. And then smaller. And I'm just putting a finger space between all the, just taking my finger and measuring the spaces so that they're all the same. I'm just going smaller again. So I've got this one, which has got the smallest of them all. So now we're going to be placing 3 more sizes going down. And then there's a really tiny one like that, which I'm going to be sticking on as well. And the last final one that I'm putting on is one of the little teardrops. And those are the stones all in place. And I'm doing the same pattern on all the sides. And there's the finished look. And I've placed it between some wall sconces which I made to match the mirror. If you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.